Today's story is about the nastiest sister on planet Earth. It gets gross, it gets revolting, it gets, well, let's just say it gets bad. Enjoy. So the subscriber who sent in this story, let's just call the kid Jake, right? Jake. Jake has this friend, let's call him Finn. Adventure time, come grab. Anyways, right, so, Finn and Jake were good buddies, and, one day they decided that one of these weekends they wanted to hang out, and they decided they wanted to go on a hike, maybe hang out a little bit afterwards, and, so Jake decides to go over to Finn's house, and Finn has a younger sister, right? Finn has a younger sister, and Finn's younger sister, she isn't really into, like, the whole, stereotypical things that girls might be into at this age. She didn't like playing with Barbie. She didn't like, pink stuff or whatever. Like, kind of like, stereotype of like, I don't know, girls her age, what they'd be into. But, she was like, she was really into kind of like, she was into a lot of like stereotypically like guy stuff. And she definitely liked, she wanted to, at least in this case, she wanted to kind of like prove to the guys, right, Finn and Jake, that she was cool enough to hang out with them and that she liked similar stuff to them or whatever. And so anyways, right, so Jake and Finn, or Finn and Jake, it just sounds so much better when I say Finn and Jake. I've just heard that so many more times. So Finn and Jake, they go over, or Jake goes over to Finn's house, and they're ready to go on their hike, right? They want to go on a hike. It's, Finn lives pretty close to one of the, like, some kind of, like a mountain range-ish. Like, it's not huge. This isn't like Mount Everest or something. They don't have to like train for 6 months to go on this little hike, but it's a decent mountain range. There's like some wildlife. It's gonna be fun, right? Anyways, right, so, they get there, and, Jake, he goes over to Finn's house, and, Finn kind of wants to just do this hike with just Jake, right? He kind of just wants to do it just with his friend, but, like, all of the night before, his little sister, who, there's going to be too many names, I'm going to mess them up, so we're just calling Finn's little sister the little sister, okay? Too many names for me to forget, too many names for me to mess up. I'm pretty good at messing stuff up. Anyway, so the entire night before, Finn's little sister was actually talking about how much she wanted to go on this hike. And, Finn's mom was like, all right, Finn, like, I know, like, you just want to go on the hike with Jake, but your little sister would love to come along. And at this point, Finn's like, dude, I don't want my little sister to come along. Like, they weren't necessarily not cool, right? It wasn't like that they were, like, beefing or anything, but sometimes you just want to do something with your friend. I mean, that's totally understandable in my opinion, but Finn's mom was like, okay, like, come on, like, she really wants to go, Finn, like, it'd be so nice if you did. And Finn was like kind of not budging at the time, but eventually, right, Finn's little sister was making enough of like enough of a scene that Finn's like, okay, fine, you can come, but you can't say anything. You can't get in the way of what we want to do, right? And, she was like, yeah, whatever, right? So he's kind of bummed about that. But Finn's little sister was really like, okay, I really want to prove to them that I'm cool enough to hang out with them. Because, right, she wanted to come, but she also didn't want to be a nuisance, man. Finn's little sister didn't like that feeling of being a nuisance. So she's like, all right, I got to figure out a way to, like, prove to them that I'm cool. I got to figure out a way to prove to them that, like, I'm with them or whatever. So, she kind of just assumed that, like, guys like gross things. And the thing is, like, Finn and Jake, they definitely like their fair share of, like, oh, dude, that's so gross or whatever. But Finn's little sister decided that it would be her prerogative, that it would be her duty, her goal, her adventure, her whatever, right? To be basically to do the grossest things possible on this hike to entertain them and to prove to them that she was one of them. And let me just say that she really went above and beyond in the worst ways possible, and it got pretty bad. It got pretty bad. Anyways, right, back to the hike. So Jake gets there, and Finn explains to him, like, hey, dude, like, my little sister's coming along with us. And at first, Jake in his head's like, bro, why? But he was like, okay, dude, totally fine. Right, so, Finn, Jake, and Finn's little sister, they all, they gear up, they get ready to go on the hike. I think, they bring a backpack with them. I think, like, Finn or Jake has it. It has, like, a lunch packed in there. It has some water bottles. It has, like, some sunscreen. It has some bug repellent. Has the classic Bitcoin mining machine because, they got to be on that grind 24/7, baby. Let's go. Get that bread, baby. Let's go. Anyways, on the walk, right, they're hiking up the trail. They just started it. It's a nice day. They're having a good time, man. Like, the weather's nice. It's not too buggy. They're climbing up. They're seeing some cool stuff. And on the way up, right, there's some cobwebs. There's some cobwebs by the side of like a tree or something. And this is the point where, Finn's little sister is like, all right, here's my first opportunity to prove to them that I'm cool, that I'm one of them, that, this is not a mistake to bring me along. And she's like, guys, look at these cobwebs, man. Like, look at this spider, man. And they all kind of like turn around like, oh, okay, yeah, this little spider, like, ooh, whatever, right? And Finn wasn't a big fan of, or Jake wasn't a big fan of spiders, but, whatever. He was like, haha, yeah, look at that spider. And then Finn's little sister's like, watch me do this, guys. At this point, they're kind of like, what? Like, what is she about to do, man? Like, watch you do what? What are we watching you do? And they watch her. They watch her go pick up this spider with her hands, and they're like, okay, dude, like keep that thing away from us, man. Like, keep that thing a good distance, man. Like, keep that thing away from us. Because, like, they weren't a fan of spiders, bro. Like, they didn't, like, especially, like, okay, so, like, Finn was okay, but Jake was definitely not a big fan. Jake took, like, 17 steps back, just, like, rapid fire, boom, boom, boom. But he's like, no, I'm good, bro. And she's like, watch me do this. And then she sticks out her tongue, and Finn, who's starting to realize, like, what his little sister's about to do, is like, what are you doing there, little sis? Like, what are you doing there? And she's like, watch this. And she sticks out her tongue, drops the spider on her tongue, chews. And at this point, like, Jake's about to gag, bro. He's like, like, he just can't handle it, man. I mean, and she's like, it's the grossest thing ever. And at this point, like, Finn's like, dude, why would you do that? And she's like, delicious. And they're just like, oh. You're probably thinking, all right, it can't get worse than that. You guys are very, very wrong. I don't want to tell the rest of the story because I personally really don't like spiders. I used to really not like them when I was like a little kid. I was like really afraid of them. Like, if you showed me a photo of a spider, I would be out of the room in like 5 seconds. And I'm not at that level anymore, but I just don't like spiders, man. Like, I get it. They eat mosquitoes and stuff I don't like. So, like, they're cool. We're not boys, but we're cool, right? But, dude, I just don't want to... Anyways, I'll tell the story for you guys. I'm doing it for you. Finn's sister was like, oh, we're not done yet, boys. And they're just like, what? Like, what? What do you mean you're not done? There's more damage you can do? Huh? Finn's little sister, she goes back to the spider web, and you know what she grabs? She grabs the spider egg sac. Oh, God. It's just so bad. Anyways, the story's good, though. I have to tell it. And she takes the spider egg sac. And at this point, Jake is like, bro, I'm out of here, dude. I can't do this, man. I can't do... Dude, if I was there with Jake, I'd be like, you know what, Jake? Let's get out of here, bro. I'm not doing this either. Anyways, right? She takes the spider egg sac, and she's like, watch this. I'm not going to go into the details for this one personally. It grosses me out a little bit too much. But she does the same thing that she did with the spider. Dude, I can't even. Okay, I'm skipping over the details. Imagine as much as you'd like. I'm not doing that. Point right. Jake is traumatized. Finn is just in disbelief, and Finn's little sister has this big old grin on her face because she's like, finally, the boys will accept me, man. The boys will accept me. And so Finn's like, you know what? Let's just keep walking. Let's just finish up this hike. Let's have a good time. And, they decide maybe the best call is to keep going on the trail. So they keep walking, and Finn is scarred. Jake is scarred ×2, and Finn's little sister is just sitting there smugly laughing like, ahaha, kind of thinking, yeah, I'm now cool with the boys. But, Jake and Finn were already kind of cool with her. They didn't really care. Like, she was totally fine on the hike. Yeah, they wanted to do that stuff together because they're just friends, whatever, right? But they didn't care, bro. Like, they didn't need some validation or anything, especially, like, if she's going to validate herself. There's just so many other ways to do it besides, I'm not even going into it anymore. But here's the thing. She doesn't stop there. She doesn't stop. Today's keyword is spider, so if you made it this far into the video, comment spider in the comment section down below. I'm going to try and heart as many of those comments as I can, just realize I can't get to them all, and I probably only heart like 30%, but I do spend like a good hour or two on my phone hearting comments. So I'll do my best, but no guarantees. But yeah, if you want to get like farm as many hearts as possible and maybe get top commenter or whatever, commenting spider in your comment or literally just commenting spider by itself is the best way to do it. Also, it's your lucky day. It's your lucky day because for every single person who leaves a like on this video, this isn't a scam by the way, you will be getting your very own nothing. Your nothing will magically appear right after you leave a like on this video. So yeah, 5,000 likes and I'll do an eyelash reveal. I'll actually reveal my eyelash at 5,000 likes, no joke. Anyways, right at this point, Finn and Jake completely scarred, you know, Finn's little sister laughing away, and they just keep going on their hike. And at this point, Jake, he's just kind of ready to go home. He's seen enough for like 2 lifetimes at this point. He's kind of done. He's kind of ready. He's kind of at that point. And, you know, they're wrapping up and, you know, they get to the top of the mountain or whatever. And there's a bit of like a field. There's a bit like not a field, but like a pasture type thing. Not a pasture. Actually, I'm lying again. Oh my God, I suck at this. There's kind of like a field. I was right the first time. And, you know, in this field, like, you know, it's a lot of grass and like plants and like some trees around the edges. And it's just like, it's nice out. It's warm. It's just kind of a nice moment for all of them. Well, it was a nice moment before Finn's little sister decided to make it a little bit less of a nice moment. You guys will see in 1 second. Finn's little sister, you know what she finds? She finds a pile of excrement, defecation. I don't know, dude. This is from some animal, right? She finds some like, you know, some doo-doo from an animal. Yeah. And she finds it, she's like, LOL, look at this. And they're all like, aha, aha, aha. They were terrified, man. Because the last time she said, look at this, it was the spider. So they were in just like complete fear. And then Finn's little sister takes her foot, which is, you know, in a shoe or whatever, and just stomps it in the pile. And Finn's like, why would you do that? Like, why? What is your incentive? What is your motivation? Why would you do that? Oh my God. And she looks at them and she's like, do you want to lick it? And they're like, what the fuck? What? And she like lifts up her boot, which is now covered in all this stuff. She's like, do you want to lick it? Did you hear me? Do you want to lick it? They're just looking at her like, no, no, we're good. What? And she's like, if you're not going to lick it, I'm going to lick it. And at this point, you know, Finn's like, no, you are not. You are not about to do that. And unfortunately, she takes that as like a challenge. So she takes off her boot, brings it up to her mouth, and Finn's like, no, you do not want to do that. You do not want to do that. Oh my God, you do not want to do that. Please. To their despair, despite their pleading, despite their cries and terror and pain and fear, she ends up licking her boot. And at this point, Jake's like, all right, this is a good time to wrap it up, man. I think this is a good time to go. This is a good time to just wrap things up, if you know what I mean. I think it's time. Okay. Finn, it is time for us to go, Finn, it is time for us to go. And Finn's like, yep, it is time for us to go. And Finn's little sister is just like laughing or whatever. As disgusting as that was, she somehow was like, all right, you know what? Now I'm accepted by the guys. At this point, right, they're all walking down and they're kind of at this point, right, Jake is kind of speed walking. Finn is like, what happened today? And at one point, like 10 minutes on their walk down, they're not talking that much. But Finn's little sister, right, she comes up to Finn and she's like, hey, Finn, I'm not feeling so good. And Finn is like, oh, really? You're not feeling good? But then Finn's little sister's like, I'm really not feeling good, Finn. I'm really not feeling good. And Finn's like, shoot, like God damn, of course you're not feeling good. And he's like, okay, let's go. And they get in the car. And at this point, she's like, Finn, I'm really not feeling good. And he's like, oh, God. And so what Finn does is, you know, Finn brings them back. And Finn kind of like says, hey, mom, can we talk for a second? At this point, Finn's little sister went upstairs to go lay down. Finn explains everything that happened, saying that it was kind of out of his control, and like he has no idea why she did that. And Finn's mom is like, oh my God, okay, she's not feeling good. Let's take her to the hospital, right? So Jake didn't go to the hospital with them. Jake was picked up by his mom, and Jake was the one who sent in the story, right? You can send in stories too to my Instagram in the description. But basically, right, Finn told Jake what happened the next day. So apparently what happened after Jake left was that Finn's little sister, and Finn's mom, they all drove to the hospital, and yeah, when they got there, the doctor was like, ooh, there's a lot of bad stuff going on down here. And they basically like gave her some antibiotic or something, and it kind of like cleaned up the whole situation. But believe it or not, there's a reason why you don't do the things that Finn's little sister did. There's a reason. It's called You'll Get Super Sick. Subscribe if you haven't already, and now go watch another video. Click on one of the videos on screen. Dude, I'll actually cry if you don't click on a video.